Hola amigos, welcome to Heritage Spanish with Stephanie. Today I thought we'd go over the Spanish Heritage Book Club on Discord that I created. We'll talk about how it got started, what we're up to right now, and of course how you can join. So if you've been looking for a community, a group of Heritage Spanish speakers, a book club to join, this video is for you. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm Stephanie. I'm a Heritage Spanish speaker. If you don't know what a Heritage Spanish speaker is, I suggest going to watch one of my former videos where I go completely into what a Heritage speaker is and how it compares to a no sabo kid. Spoiler, they're kind of the same thing, but we just 100% prefer the term heritage speaker here on this channel. I grew up in the United States with a Latina mother who is from Ecuador. She spoke to me when I was a child using Spanish, and so of course I grew up understanding and speaking to some extent Spanish. Now my dad, his native language isn't Spanish, so of course I did have a lot of English influence growing up. My dominant language today is English. It's what I feel most comfortable talking in. That being said, I feel really proud of my Spanish. I've worked really hard to improve what was mediocre Spanish. Hoy en día I have a master's in bilingual education. I teach dual language, US history and government, predominantly in Spanish. And I love reading novels in Spanish. So that's a little bit about me, and now let's talk about the book club that I created on Discord. So how did this book club get started? Back in January of this year, I decided to create a TikTok account that I could post videos about reconnecting to mi cultura y herencia latina, reconnecting to my Latina heritage. Within a month, I had my first semi-viral video. And basically, it was just a video of me sitting in my comfy blue chair reading a book in Spanish. I talked about quickly in that video how reading in Spanish is a great way to improve your vocabulary. It's a great way to help you reinforce grammar structures that you're maybe unfamiliar with, things like that. And that really resonated with people. People all of a sudden were asking me for all of my book recommendations in Spanish, talking about how this was such a good idea, how they'd never thought to do this before. They wanted to know what I was reading. They wanted to know different levels of books that they could check out, and then all of a sudden I was just like, okay, this is what the people want. I love reading in Spanish, so sign me up. And I started creating videos about Spanish book recommendations. All of that led to people asking and suggesting that I create a book club, and so I did. I decided to create a book club. I asked my brother, who knows a lot more technical kinds of stuff than I do, if he could help me create a Discord. Like, your girl knows nothing. I mean, I've learned a thing or two since then, but I did not know the first thing about running a Discord. So he was super helpful, helped me create a system where people could onboard and choose their current level of reading in Spanish. We had beginner, intermediate, and advanced. It grew really quickly. People would see the videos and get super excited. That's really how it got started. And it's been lots of fun to have this club since then. Where are we at today? Today the book club has 800 members and counting, and they all have self-assigned themselves to beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Now, not everybody comes to meetings. 800 people would be a lot of people to have at meetings. A lot of people are there kind of, commenting here and there, and some people are super active in coming to the meetings. I want to talk a little bit about what each level is doing and what we've kind of done since then. So first, let's talk about the beginner club. So I'm actually really excited about the future of the beginner book club. This is the book that we're going to start reading. It's called Diario de una lechuza, and it's a little picture/chapter book. Most of the pages look like this. Some are a little bit longer. You might see some like dialogue paragraphs like that. But we're gonna take 5 weeks on this book, and there's only 71 pages. So it's something really doable for most people, even if they're really beginner in their Spanish. This group has had a couple of hurdles in terms of commitment issues. So many people, when they see my videos, they wanna join, they wanna commit. But what I think is happening with this group in particular is that there's a lot of fear, or tal vez vergüenza. They're feeling a little bit maybe unsure of their levels in Spanish, and they don't commit long term. So they might show up to one meeting and then they're like, I don't know, I'm a little scared, I'm a little overwhelmed, and then they don't come back. Obviously, not everybody has been like that. You have a few solid members that come pretty regularly. But I thought to myself, okay, these people, I think they're feeling a little overwhelmed, like about the prospect of just learning Spanish in general. And that's a super relatable feeling. So what I have done, this is my first time I've done this, is I have created a workbook, a PDF that goes over some of the grammatical structures that we see in these chapters. For example, in chapter 1, the main character uses ser a lot to introduce herself. Yo soy Eva, soy una lechuza, things like that. So then what we would do in the workbook is we would practice using ser to introduce ourselves. People are reading it, seeing the concept, and then taking time to to really learn it in the workbook. The workbook is an optional add-on. This is the first time we've had it. I'm really excited for those who want to be able to take this extra step to kind of have some skin in the game now. Like, look, I paid for this workbook. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do the reading, I'm gonna come to the meetings. That's what I'm really hoping will happen. So if this is something that you want to do and you happen to see this video, we start September 22nd and you're more than welcome to read with us. If you don't want to do the PDF, you can still read with us. It's completely free. If you happen to be seeing this video after September 22nd of 2024, go and buy the PDF anyway, read it on your own, and I'll probably be making more of these for future books as well. So, and I really hope that helps with people feeling more committed and willing to show up and work and learn Spanish, because I do believe that they want to. I believe that they have that desire, that longing to reconnect to Spanish and to learn Spanish and talk to their abuela maybe in her native language. And so that's my goal, that's my dream for the beginner club. Moving on to intermediate. The kinds of books that we read in the intermediate book club are like the Magic Tree House types books. We read a few of those this year. We've also read a few Junie B Jones books. In fact, we're reading our second Junie B Jones book. It's called Junie B Jones y la gran bocota. We are on our second week of reading this, so there's still plenty of time to catch up if you happen to see this. I've found that this level is so perfect for kind of really slowing down and focusing on grammar, focusing on new vocabulary words. It's actually quite amazing how many words you can learn from a children's chapter book like that. I consider myself to be an advanced reader, but there's still words that I am learning when I read these intermediate types of books. Moving on to our advanced club. Advanced club has read so many amazing books this year. We read Esperanza, Renace, we read Como agua para chocolate, we read Gótico, and we're currently reading our first non-fiction read, Invencible, Verano de Liliana, by Cristina Rivera Garza. We chose this book because it's a Pulitzer Prize winning book by a Mexican author, and we were really excited to read it. This has been a little bit of a struggle for some of us because I think it's more nonfiction, not necessarily all of our go-tos for reading, but it's also been a really great opportunity for us to push ourselves. We're about halfway through this one. There's still technically, I mean, if you wanted to try to catch up and read with us, if you're seeing this in time, absolutely, please do. We are usually reading something at all times. So whenever it is that you happen to see this, you hop on the Discord, you'll find out what we're currently reading in that moment. My favorite thing about the Advanced Club in particular has just been the friendships that are forming. This has been a really, really beautiful group of people who have joined together from all over the country to read. I really love seeing the friendships that we are forming, and the community is really getting strong. Advanced Book Club has probably had some of the most solid attendance and commitment from all the groups. We originally started with the 3 groups, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. A few months ago, we started a romance group, and this has been my favorite. I have loved reading romance books in Spanish. Like, we are learning the vocabulary words that your abuela never taught you. They're words that I never even thought to know. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even think of these words of adding them to my vocabulary, but I'm glad I have them. This group just finished an Ali Hazelwood book. We read La hipótesis del amor, and we liked that one so much collectively that we decided that we wanted to read a second Ali Hazelwood book. So we're currently reading La química del amor, and we just started. We're only on the first 2 chapters. This group has had a smaller yet committed group of people reading. This group is going to be a long-term one for sure. Within the book club, I do offer Spanish tutoring services for more beginner and intermediate levels, and of course the PDF that is new for beginner. But yeah, that's kind of been what we've been doing in Spanish Book Club. So if you want to join, the link to join is down below in the description. I'm also going to link all of the books that we're currently reading in Spanish, as well as my Amazon storefront where I've listed all of our previous books and other book recommendations in Spanish if you are interested in looking at those. Alright friends, thank you so much for joining me on this video on Spanish Heritage Book Club. I hope I see you soon, whether in the book club or in the comments. Share your favorite book. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content on mejorando your heritage language, connecting to your herencia, and of course Spanish books and reading recommendations. Hasta la próxima!